Hello everyone, and let me welcome you to another episode of the Mind and Muse Crafts podcast. I am your host, Caroline, and in this occasion I am filming from my son's home in Alabama, and I'm in the nursery room because it's the only place that I was far enough away from the baby who is currently sleeping, and also it has some lighting so that I wasn't completely in the dark. But I didn't want to let this opportunity go by without coming back and kind of wrapping things up for the end of the year and letting you know how I went with some of the projects and show you something new that I have done. So if you're here for the first time, this is basically a crochet podcast. Most of the content that I share here is related to crochet. I do practice some other crafts, but as of late, they haven't been showing up much on these encounters, these little chats that we have. So I'll share with you something that you have already seen, just to get right on it. I'm not wearing anything new crochet related. I have the duster, the flower duster that I made during the summer, and basically have been using it here inside the house as the name says, as a duster to kind of like cover up and keep out the chill, but not get overheated. So I am going to be looking down from time to time because I have the baby's camera down here. He's currently asleep, but I need to keep an eye on him. So I only have two things that I want to talk about, or that I can talk about, because of the fact that I traveled to Alabama. I traveled light, even though on this occasion I did pack a little bit more because I wanted to bring with me some yarn to make a certain project that I was interested in. But I left back at home, for example, the mushroom bag that was a gift for Clarissa this Christmas because I had completed what I wanted to complete on that. I mean, it had the front, it had the back, and it had the sides all crocheted in. Unfortunately, I did not bring any photos of that with me. I remembered too late, and I didn't think I could ask my husband to take those photos because he might not know how it goes. But anyway, I travel back to home this Sunday, day after tomorrow, and then I'll be there for 2 days, and I will travel to Florida. So when I go to Florida to spend my Christmas vacation, then I will take that mushroom bag with me and gift it. And maybe I can show it to you then if we do sort of like a vlog of maybe Christmas Day or something like that. I have no idea. We have nothing planned at the moment, but at some point I'll share it with you. And if you follow me on Instagram and I don't show up on here to share those things with you, well, you can always, I'll try and post to Instagram something about how that final project looked. Now, if you remember, the second gift that I was working on was a spell book inspired by the spell book found in Hocus Pocus. And so that spell book was going to be, or is going to be, a gift for my older daughter who will also travel to Florida to spend Christmas together. The only one we'll be missing is my son, who won't be traveling to Florida. They did a trip recently, and so they didn't want to make another one at this time of year, and so we won't be able to get together. But why, of course, I kind of like convinced myself that they needed me to come down here now. But basically it was because I needed to come down here now and make sure I saw my grandson before the year ended. Okay, so we'll take a look at that project. I've placed a book inside of it, but only because for display. So here it is. This part of what I was missing the last time. Basically, I think, well, I was missing the flaps, to crochet the flaps that allowed the book cover in. I was missing this. And although it's there for decoration purposes at the moment, I do hope to find the best way that I could keep it down here. I was thinking magnets, but I haven't found any craft magnets strong enough to hold through the yarn. But they must exist, right? If they exist to go through the fabric of a purse, they must exist in order to go through the fabric of yarn. So I've got a couple of days before I actually travel, and so maybe I'll find an idea for that. And the hand is at the back. Remember the last time we were talking about this, I had made a hand, but I realized that the hand was brown and that it should be typically, well, whiter because our bones are white. So, I don't know. But I just gave it this gray color because it's the same gray as this. So I attached here and crocheted back this way. The hand was done using a video from Crafty is Cool. I've told you several times that I've purchased some of her patterns, and I respect her and admire all of her amigurumi work. And she tries to make it as realistic as possible. They're usually people, but she does do some, this time of year, she was doing some ornaments, tree ornaments of pets. And so she's really talented. If you haven't seen her videos or watched, like I said before, if you haven't gone to Crafty is Cool just to look at what she's got, you're missing out. So she also has a YouTube channel called Crafty is Cool, and there she had a video tutorial for making the hand. Basically, she was making it for amigurumis that you wanted to have a sort of like 5-finger hand instead of having a mitten hand. So she was basically giving you a demo because she does have the written instructions, but the written instructions are for sale. So I just checked out that short video and was able to make that hand. And so this comes off, right, in the movie, it should. And then I have to find a way to keep it. So on the inside, on the flaps, I actually used linked trebles to do that. I had to change yarn because I didn't have enough of the other yarn. So you're not seeing it, but my goodness, this is not a good way to show this to you, but okay. So that's what the inside looks like. Basically, it's just, the only purpose is just to keep it attached to the book. This is not the book that it will be in. This is my son's doctorate thesis, so I figured that would be a good book, isn't it? That's got a bunch of spells in it that not many people understand. So, yeah, it's almost done. I need to find a way to secure the eye. And if I can't figure that out by myself, I'm sure my daughters will be able to help me once we are, once we're together. They'll be able to suggest an idea of how to keep that in place. So, yes, I think that's done, and I'm very happy with it. I think it's not a bad replica. I could still, but I haven't had time at the moment. I didn't bring the materials with me to make the snake, the 3 snakes that go at the back also. But I don't know. We'll see what happens as I get closer to Christmas, how I feel about that. So the second project that I want to show you is I'm not going to call it a pattern, but it's a design. It is a design made by an Instagrammer called Crochet by Bev. That is her handle. And she made this very, well, I consider it gorgeous because I'm a Snoopy fan. And although last year, also this time of year actually, I was working on basically a tunic, what I call the swanket, a Snoopy swanket, because it turned out to be so big and so long. I got around to thinking about ugly Christmas sweaters. I saw this and I decided that this was something that I wanted to make, and that was a good time to try and make it while I was coming down here, because it would be 2 weeks that although during the day I take care of the baby 8 hours, there are some times where he goes to bed and I've got an hour or so to do something on my own. And definitely my daughter-in-law gets off at 4 p.m. So after that, my son and her will take care of the baby. So I had a lot of leisure time. It's not like I don't do a lot in the evening. So I don't have a lot of chores like when I'm at home to do in the evening. So I figured I could do it. And I also posted to Instagram a post or a poll questioning if I could or could not finish my Christmas jumper before Christmas. And I was surprised that in that poll, 25% of those that answered, which I don't know how many that comes out to because I really didn't check the numbers, but 25% of those that answered, that's 1/4 of those people that watched my little reel thought that I could not finish it before Christmas. So after that, I was on a roll. I had to get this done because it was a dare. But I knew that one of the things that could hold me back would be that I might run out of yarn. The designer behind Bev Crochet, or Crochet by Bev, has a video on YouTube where she works the sweater completely with you. Now, I say completely, but she just explains how to make the different parts of the garment. She doesn't actually make them with you. As a matter of fact, she shows you pieces that are already completed, and well, she'll do a couple of stitches on each of those to just get you going and to show you what it is you need to do. But basically the construction is simple because it's a square on the front, a square on the back, a square for each of the sleeves, and then you've got 4 ribbings, which probably out of everything is what takes the most amount of time. Well, besides the color work, but ribbing does take a lot of time. So I brought with me everything that I had left of this Feels Like Butter to be my main color, and all the colors that I needed in between to do the color work. And I was able to complete the color work that looks so pretty on camera. It doesn't necessarily look as pretty in person. And then I've got the ribbing for the neck line, and she suggests using slip stitch in the back loop only. And that might seem like it would take more time than a single crochet in the back loop only, which is what I usually do. But then I started thinking, well, actually it should take less time because slip stitch has one less loop. And using the same amount, you're using the same amount of stitches because let's say I did mine. These are 10 stitches up, single crochet in the back loop only all the way down. When you do your last one, you connect to the neckline of your garment with a slip stitch, and then you do one more slip stitch before you go back up. And so I was actually a little bit amazed by the fact that it wasn't much more work than it would have been to use the single crochet in the back loop only. And I actually think it looks a bit nicer, a bit tidier. Now, I made mine using a 4mm hook. She suggests a 4.5 because she uses hobby yarn, which I didn't have. I had a lot of what I thought was a lot of this, what is it? Feels Like Butter in the colorway. It's going to come to me. Dusty Blue. Dusty Blue. And I had purchased maybe 400 grams of this. Well, at least 4 skeins. I don't know. Let me see. It has 100 grams. So I had purchased 4 skeins of this at some point. And I don't remember for what project it was, but it got made into a Snoopy sweater. Christmas sweater. So that's Snoopy. And then I was able to work on the ribbing at the bottom. But then here, I was only able to work up to here. And I was missing all of that. And there was none of that yarn available here in Michael's or Joann's or any of the other stores that at Walmart, nothing. So I ended up purchasing it online. I was a bit frightened that it wouldn't get here in time. They actually said it would arrive tomorrow, Saturday. And we are leaving early tomorrow, Saturday, to head towards Nashville because that's where I fly out of. So, I ordered it and I said, if it gets here on Saturday, then they'll just have to, my son will have to return it. If it gets here a day early, then I'm in luck. And fortunately, it did get a day early. It came today. So tonight, I'll be able to finish up that last piece. She only explains one size in the video, and that's the size that I made. But she does talk about measurements and how to determine the correct length that you want, or how wide you need it at the shoulders, or how long you need the armhole. I just went with what numbers that I basically use. So this was, I think it was 86 stitches across, and hindsight is 20/20. So as I ran out of yarn, I realized that I could have made it. It's very big. It's very big. But as sweaters do, you usually try and put something under it. So, I mean, it's probably okay that it's big because, you know, if I were to put something under it, you wouldn't want it to be too uncomfortable. I also joined the neck ribbing. I started it here once I finished connecting. Actually, I don't even know why it started there. But that's where it started, and that's where I have my seam, which I didn't like, obviously, because it was just like, oh, why didn't I think about this? I put the seam at the back. Why would I put it there? Oh, it does bother me, but it's an ugly Christmas sweater, so I'm not going to go too much into ripping back all of that neckline and in single crochet in the back stitch only and doing it again. I'll live with it. At the back, I did remember to put it at the side. So, what do you think? Is that an ugly Christmas sweater or is that an ugly Christmas sweater? Do you think I should add the sleeves to it? I was very much considering not doing it and just leaving it as a sweater vest. I know that either way, whether I make the sleeves or I don't, it won't get a lot of use because of the fact that I wore this for a little while and it was very, very warm. And no place that I go could I wear it, except here, obviously, but I'll be leaving here, like we said, on Sunday. Anyway, that was a selfish make, a make for myself. So we'll see. I think the evening is young and I'll be able to finish that single crochet, that slip stitch ribbing, and then I will decide whether I am going to wear it tomorrow. Because tomorrow we leave for Nashville I take my flight on Sunday, but we leave tomorrow because we're going to go see a show that has something to do with ice. My son and my daughter-in-law haven't given me all the details because they do that sometimes. They want to surprise you and take you places and not give you all the details. But I'm thinking that maybe it's something like this. Ice. The show is called Ice at the Gaylord Opryland. And here's a picture of one of the scenes. So I guess they're actually not taking me for me. It's more something like for my grandson. And I truly hope that he enjoys it, because the last time that I was here, my son bought tickets for a circus and we had to leave because he just was not having it. He did not like the noises. He did not like the shouting. He did not like the dark, and we just had to leave. And it hadn't even begun. We were still in the pre-show and we had to leave. So let's see. Basically, it is a wonderland carved by experts, artisans, out of 2 million pounds of colorful ice. We'll see the story of Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer in larger-than-life sculptures and even plunge-down slides made entirely of ice in this Gaylord Hotel original experience. Oh my God. They had not told me any of this. Well, that's what I'll be doing, apparently. And you're supposed to go dressed warm because it is -9 degrees. They have to give you a special suit. Fortunately, it is early. Oh, look at that. Maybe I should use my boots. I hope it doesn't rain. So, I don't remember why I was mentioning this. Oh, so since we're going to that, I was wondering if I should wear my Snoopy shirt there. And if I try and make the sleeves, I won't get the sleeves done before tomorrow. But I could have the vest. We'll see. We'll see what happens, but I will keep you informed in some way. So let me just mention before I say goodbye today that it is very much possible that this could be the last episode that I will record. It is... I guess my justification comes down to the fact that it has been very difficult to get views, and though I respect and am very grateful for those of you that do watch this, I mean, not a ton of people, but maybe most of the time, close to 100 people watch any of my episodes. The last episode went really down, went below 100. It's at like 60. And I had promised myself that when the viewership reduced to less than 100, then I wouldn't continue. Because, I mean, you know, this type of thing takes time, and it's time that you take away from other aspects of your life, or you take away from other activities that you could be doing or that you should be doing. Because in order to try and use up your stash, you really need to crochet a lot of the time when you should be doing other things. So, yes, definitely considering not doing new episodes for January. So if this is not the last one, there might be one last one, maybe the 30th of December, just to end up the year. And then I'll call it a quits, because I will understand that, well, you know, the things that I've been sharing are not the content just doesn't have the impact that I need it to have so I can justify continuing to do this sort of thing. I mean, well, that's what I keep telling myself. So we'll see. We'll see what happens in the new year. But in case you are a super fan of this podcast, I just wanted to let you know, I think respectfully, I owe that to all of you that have also taken from your time to keep in touch with me and see the things that I do and comment on those things and tell me a little bit about what you do too. So, yeah, all good things come to an end. So, it's fine. I understand. I understand that lives change, that, we all go in different directions after a while. And so that's okay. We have the memory of the time we've spent together, and that will be enough for all of us. The old videos will continue to sit there on YouTube until, I guess, YouTube decides to take them down, but I might not be making any newer ones. So, sorry to leave it as such a sad note, but I do hope that you have a very Merry Christmas if you celebrate that. And I also hope that the end of the year is peaceful and rejoicing and full of happiness for you. And your hearts are full of hope for the upcoming new year. Take good care of yourself. Until we meet again, keep yourself safe, keep yourself healthy, and keep crafting. Bye for now.